I'm holding the Leupold Full Draw 5.
Can I look through it here?
Go for it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So do I need to do anything specific?
Just the button on the top, you can tap it. And
Okay.
then tap it
Oh,
twice,
okay.
and it'll tell you the distance.
Has
But
our
basically-
camera moved yet, or is it still at 7-ish
7.3?
yards?
6.6.
Oh, you're closer.
Oh, because I'm closer.
Welcome to the SCHEELS Outdoors podcast, your source for information on hunting, fishing, and all of your outdoor passions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the SCHEELS Outdoors podcast. Mike Anderson here, along with my co-hosts Solomon Bach
I'm here.
and Ashley Blank.
You got it.
I
we
screwed
go.
up
Nice.
on the last one. I said Sorensen. She's like, "Oh, I just
I
got
got
married."
married,
So
yeah.
but I got it this
Yeah.
time. Fool me once. So,
Only
You can just say
happens once.
Ashley, being my last name is blank. You know, it's
oh yeah,
Look at that.
mind
Right.
blown.
So when you sign your name, is it just like Ashley and then a line?
that's it. Yeah.
yeah.
I would totally do it that way.
Okay.
Fill it in anyway.
Yeah. So Ashley's going to kind of be the main host for this one because why?
We are talking about Archery University, which you two got to attend this year.
Yes.
And I think it would be very interesting to share about that experience, why we even, what is a SCHEELS University? So a lot of people have maybe heard, like we were talking about right before the podcast started, like, oh, people are probably like, I want to go to that. Is it a college? What is it?
Yeah.
You know?
It's a university.
yeah. We got
but-
universities, graduate schools.
So yeah, and each of our departments has a university for our associates to attend, to come back with product knowledge to then teach the rest of their teams. So they are up to date on new technology, new products. They have like firsthand experience using the products. I mean, whether it's running shoes or in this case, like archery bows. Yeah. So, yeah, what really is a SCHEELS University from your guys' perspective
You wanna rock
that
it
I
first?
missed,
Yeah. Yeah, you hit it.
I mean,
we're done.
the number one goal is to just have our associates give them the most knowledge possible to benefit the customer, to get them into the right product, to help them with any questions that they might have. So that's kind of how university stemmed. It's just, how does SCHEELS differentiate from the competition to just really give that best-in-class customer service? And so this one was Archery University, not to be confused with Fashion University or Sportswear University or Sunglasses University.
or water sports.
Water sports
or,
university.
Yeah.
There's I think there's around 60 of them that we do, which is just wild.
Yeah.
When you think
Did
about
you guys,
that,
you
all
went to
the plan.
Barbecue University?
Yeah,
I mean,
we filmed content at Barbecue
Yeah.
University.
Yeah.
It
Taste
made
tested.
it out of
Unfortunately, did
taste.
not do that one. So
Mike,
I
where were
did
you?
taste
I
test a couple
know.
things.
I wasn't invited. I guess I wasn't cool enough. But anyway, so the Archery University one, everything archery related. So Solomon got to go as sort of an attendee, and that carried a video camera around, and I was basically there to just film everything. I've been to a couple archery universities. This is technically my third one. I was like a full-on attendee for the first one, and then the second one I was kind of like the hybrid role that Solomon did, and then this one I was just filming. So I mean, it's been cool, every single one of them, but yeah, just the amount of information packed into like 4 days is just
Crazy.
overwhelming.
And how many were in attendance there, like associates?
Well, let's back up because I want to differentiate attendee, because attendee
Okay.
means a SCHEELS associate from one of the 31 or 2 stores that we have, something like that.
Yeah.
An associate from one of those stores that works in or around one of those shops. So the archery shop was the main focus of this Archery University, obviously, but like some other people that ran different shops or were overseeing, maybe it was hunting clothing, or I don't think there was any optics shop managers there, but like somebody that works in and around that archery area, or it could be the archery shop manager too. But basically, it's an attendee is somebody from one of the stores, and the store wants to get them more exposure to the archery industry, get them more comfortable selling in that area, get them the information that a customer needs to sell in that area, and that type of thing. But in terms of attendees, I think there was like 60 at this one. There was a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's a typical, I think, number that we see at universities, 60, 70.
2 to 3 from each store, something like that. There's a lot.
And then as far as like vendors that are there,
Yeah.
how many were there in attendance?
Oh, good
a
question.
lot.
There was,
I should have told you guys the
4
test questions.
Yeah,
No, I'm
right.
just kidding.
I'm going to
Pull up
throw
the
out
cheat sheet.
40.
40. Wow.
Somewhere plus or minus 15.
Yeah.
So there's
40
there's
plus
a
or
lot.
minus 40.
So
All right.
basically, you know, the days were broken into like right away you guys put together a bow and then well, you did the whole thing. So
Yeah.
you should walk through
Sure,
this.
yeah. Well, like you said, there's a bunch of different vendors. There's the bow manufacturer vendors like Matthews Hoyt, Elite, Bowtech, and then there's like vendors all the way down to like optics like Leupold. There's saddle hunting vendors like Latitude and things like that. So there's vendors from all different areas of archery in general. But yeah, first night, everybody sat down in the big room and basically had a white envelope with their name on it that had a bunch of different brand or vendor names on it. And you would go around the room to each of the vendor tables that were set up and get basically a piece of your bow build. So for me, I had a Matthews card, so I would go to the Matthews table and I'd have a Matthews bow to build for the week basically. And then I'd go to the QAD table and get a rest, and then go to the, well, I wouldn't, but like the bee stinger table and get a stabilizer, and just basically put your whole kit of a bow together. And then you'd have the next couple hours to build that kit as far along as you could get in a couple of hours. Because a lot of the attendees here either are pretty seasoned archers, they're relatively seasoned, they've done it a little bit, maybe they haven't done it at all, and that's why they're here. So you had people that finished in an hour, and you had people that like maybe got halfway done in the 2.5 hours you got to do it. So that was the first night, is kind of just like getting the basics of what you're going to be using for that week set up for the most part. And so I would say I'm relatively experienced archer, but I didn't get all the way done. I mean, you can only get so far without, you know, a bow vise and a bench and like everything, but you just get it as close as you can. And there's a bunch of help from the vendors and on how to set up their equipment. There's people walking around offering assistance and a bunch of information on how to do different things. But night one was like crazy because everybody's just like, I gotta get all this stuff set up and let's get it going, and I'm ready to do it. And it was just like wild. It was super cool to see though.
Sure, and you don't have your setup that how
Right.
you want to set things up and how you
That's
do
cool
it.
because
Yeah.
everybody's on a level playing field.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
nobody's touched these bows before. They're all brand new. Nobody's put
And
any
that's
accessories
the
on
bow
them.
you're going to use for that week. Okay.
That's your bow for the whole week.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And
So-
one thing that's really cool about that is, you know, like you go to your different vendors, like your QAD for your arrow rest, and you see how like the people from QAD recommend installation. You know, like
Sure.
you can do things a little bit different. Everyone has their own way of doing things, whether it's putting on your D loop or like figuring out the cord you need for, you know, like your drop away arrow rest, things like that. But just to see like how they do it from the way they designed the product is pretty cool.
And just getting their insider tips and tricks on stuff like that too.
Yeah, I mean,
They'll
they're
have
the ones that
way better ways of doing it than
Right.
you'd ever think sometimes, or maybe that are even in the instructions sometimes too. But yeah. Yeah, that was
Okay,
night
so
one.
that was night one. Okay. So you did get your setup?
I got it set up enough to shoot. I got the rest
Okay.
on, got it. I mean, we didn't have time to like put the bows in a draw board and time them or anything like that. But I mean, all of the accessories were on the bow and the arrows were ready to go. So if I
Okay.
wanted to, I could shoot it.
Sure.
It wouldn't hit where I want to, but it would shoot.
Right.
yeah.
And I have learned a lot about archery.
We're gonna make an archer yet. It's gonna happen.
But it is such an intricate thing and such a personalized thing. So it's like you can't just go buy one online. You must be fitted.
Well,
that
I mean,
was-
you can buy one online, but you
Really?
gotta make it your own.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
my mistake. Like first getting into archery is I didn't know like that. It should be set up for you.
For
like,
you,
I thought you
yeah.
could just go get a bow and
Like
then just
we would
shoot it.
use very different ones.
Yes, very different ones. Yeah.
Yes.
I've got
Absolutely.
unfortunately long arms, so I'm limited in what I can choose.
I couldn't sit in the middle. I had to sit over here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then, I guess why we do it, it's for the associates and stuff. But
Yeah, it's like what Mike said. I mean, It's to get the product in the hands of the associates so that they're more comfortable talking about it and selling it and showing customers it, giving them the ins and outs of everything. But also, like you were saying, the interactions with the vendors, like you get to talk to people that are like the reps for, Matthews or QAD or like Latitude or any of those big vendors. Like you get to talk to them face to face, which is cool because like most of the time to most people, you just see them as the face of the brand on Instagram or somewhere like that. But like getting to talk to them face to face, meet them, they take time out of their day to put the stuff on for SCHEELS and the associates. That's really cool too.
Yeah, there was a surprising amount of people that were like, I created this brand. Like,
that's cool.
It was a figment in my imagination, and now it's here. And now I am helping train you on how it works and why it's a game-changing product.
Right. That's awesome.
Which is super cool.
Yeah. Vendors that are set in stone for years and years and years that have been a staple, and then brand new stuff too that's just coming to market.
Yeah, and there's just something about the hands-on training that you receive. There's, you can sit in a classroom and you can learn about all the tech specs and hear people talk about how cool it is, but until you like hold it in your hands and bring it to a range and actually use it, shoot it, provide feedback, like that's where that training is super, super valuable. So it's like, okay, all these associates have had plenty of product knowledge training in the store where like somebody's holding up the product in their hand and talking about it, but like bring it to the range, shoot it, see what it does.
Sure.
That's super cool. So.
And how many days was this?
This was basically Monday night to Friday morning, so it was almost a whole week.
Okay.
Whole week of it.
You guys are down in South Dakota?
Yep.
So, okay.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah.
Since I wasn't a full-on attendee, I showed up on Tuesday morning, so I set my alarm for 4 a.m. and took the 3.5-hour trek down there, which turned into a little over 4 because I went to the wrong place. So since I'd been to this is my third time going to this archery university, I looked at the schedule and was like, okay, we got our classroom at our hotel and then we go out to the field and then we shoot. So like, I don't need to film the classroom stuff. It's just not as exciting. Just plain and simple. It's great information. It's super valuable, but
it's just not as fun for people to look at.
For
online.
people to consume on social platforms, which was my job, is to create cool content for the people on social platforms. I don't need to be there until they're in the field. So I drive to Great Bear Ski Resort where it was usually, and there was like 4 cars there, and I was like, this is not right. So I look back at my itinerary and was like, oh yeah, they changed the venue this year. Cool. So
half hour in the other direction.
Half an hour in the other direction to add on to my 3.5-hour drive. Sweet.
Hey, you made it. You made it.
Yeah, but I got there. I just had to streamline a little bit of my first filming, and everything was fine.
Worked out great.
Yeah, but yeah. So there's a bunch of testing the products, and there's a bunch of learning about it, and they had 4 different ranges set up for shooting things, and
a couple different 3D ranges too, set up kind of like almost like Total Archery Challenge style ranges with 3D targets and things.
Yep. And then spots where vendors would set up and then give just like quick demonstrations and you just like super fast product training about what they got going on. And then the last day was you kind of put it all together and do a 3D archery shoot.
You're kind of fine-tuning your bow setup throughout the week. You'll get a little chunk of time here and there between kind of your training sessions to go to the range and shoot for 15, 20, 30 minutes maybe if you got time. And you'll just maybe sight in your bow a little bit more one day and then a little bit more the next day. And hopefully by Thursday, you'll at least be hitting the target somewhere where you want to. So then Thursday, like you were saying, it's not really a competition, but it's like the competition day where you do a 3D shoot in the morning, a 28 target 3D shoot in the morning, which is where Mike went originally.
Yes.
The wrong spot.
Yes,
the right spot.
That was the right spot for the last day for the 3D shoot.
Yeah.
But it was not the right spot for the product training portion of it.
Right. But Yeah, Thursday you do the 3D shoot in the morning, and then in the evening you do a Vegas style indoor shoot, which we can talk about too. but I'm
Okay, so
putting-
yeah, what's this 3D shoot then?
So it's just terminology for shooting targets, like foam targets that are like shaped like
Okay.
animals or something. It's not just like a bag target or a circle target or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just called 3D target shooting. That's becoming way popular in the last couple
Like
of years.
it's not
too.
virtual. You're actually okay.
Yep.
No, you're shooting your bow
Okay.
outside, and it was windy
In the
that
wind.
day. Oh man! Like I wasn't shooting it; I was just shooting it with a camera.
Yeah.
But I felt their pain. Like
Oh.
some of them just having to like let off or like get on their knees and just try and figure out stability was.
We'll just say this:
It was
it didn't
not
really
easy.
matter if your boat was sighted in or not.
Yeah, sometimes. Like there was targets everywhere from like 7 yards to shooting a Sasquatch target at 100.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
which that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
A long ways in the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long ways.
Couple other really cool ones. They had a bow fishing boat set up, and one of the targets was you had to shoot a couple of like fish that were under the bow fishing setup. And then there was another one where there was like a line shoot. There was this line that was probably, I don't know, 20 yards long. And the target was set up behind a bunch of like brush and trees and stuff. So you had to like determine where you wanted to go down the line to come up with a good shot. So like it started out where there was a whole bunch of brush in front of you and you could pick out like super narrow windows. And then you go a little farther and then it's like, oh, this target is completely covered. I can't shoot. How far down this line and what window do I want to pick to shoot?
Because once you go, you can't come back.
You can't come back. If you hit the end of the line, whether you have a shot or not, you're sending it.
Yeah.
So
Big risk, big reward. Potentially big reward.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So, yeah,
was
super
good.
fun.
And then what's the Vegas shoot?
So I had never shot a Vegas shoot before, but it's basically an indoor archery range, which I think it's 20 yards. Yeah, it's got to be 20 yards. But basically, there's a 3 spot, like a 1, 2, and a 3. I guess 1, 2, and 3, and you shoot 10 rounds of 3 arrows each. So you shoot 1, 2, 3, and then you go and pull your arrows, and then you shoot 10 rounds like that.
Okay.
And then you score, and so your highest score is a 300, getting a 10 ring every single time. And then, yeah, you just basically score on the rings after that. And I think that was a lot of people's probably first time doing that, because that's not, I mean, for the most bow hunter archers, probably don't shoot indoor Vegas shoots like that very often. Maybe not, but that was my first time doing it. It was super, super fun. So I'm definitely going to continue doing it. But there's
Good
scores
practice,
ranging from not the single digits, but below 100 all the way up to like, I think 290s, I think some people got into. So,
Oh.
yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I shot a 285.
What's that?
I shot a
285.
285.
Nice.
Marketing
I was surprised.
represent.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
Oh, so I have to give you another little tidbit about marketing represent. So Raven had a training session where they owned one of the ranges for like, I don't know, an hour or something like that. You got to shoot all the new Raven bows, which was crossbows, which was super cool. And just their capabilities are nuts. Like I spent a majority of the time just like filming the associates shooting and like getting B-roll shots and like cool pictures of like all the arrows and all that sort of stuff. But what they were doing is like they had the 100-yard targets set up, and they had clay pigeons like on the target. So they put like 6 clay pigeons on this big target, and if you hit a clay pigeon at 100 yards, you get your name in a drawing for like some sort of prize or something. So I'm filming this, and it's like, I need to shoot one of these crossbows. Like I've shot a couple of ravens, but not all of them. And they had an R10 there, and no one was shooting it. So I was like, can I shoot this thing? And they're like, yeah, try and take out that last clay pigeon. So I sit down and I line it up, squeeze that trigger, and I crushed that clay. First shot,
Nice.
100 yards. And there's all these associates, like they're all selling bows and doing this, like this is their life. And this marketing guy just sits down and crushes it first shot. And I'm like, yeah, how about that?
There we go. Yeah.
And I mean, I've shot some crossbow, but not a lot. But it just goes to show you how like confidence inspiring those things are.
And capable.
And capable. Yeah, exactly.
Had you ever shot one before?
I had, but not 100 yards, I don't think.
Okay.
And it wasn't one that was as fast as a Raven by any means.
And that's like really growing in popularity.
Oh yeah, it's becoming wildly popular now.
When I shot it, because we did it at different times during the rotations for training, but when I shot it, they had just put out a fresh set of clay pigeons, and I shot, and I don't even know if I hit one or not, but all 4 of them on the target just fell off. I don't know if it just packed that much of a punch on the target, but all of them just went boop and fell off.
Yeah,
So
forget one clay. I took out 4.
I probably didn't even hit any of them, but all of them fell, so I'm taking it as a dub.
No, but it was super cool to like look through the scope and then press the trigger and then just hold it and like look through the scope and watch that thing break.
Yeah.
It was like, yes, just gratification.
Very satisfying.
Very satisfying.
Do both of you mainly do archery? Is that what you're hunting?
I'm an archer
Archer?
more than a rifle hunter for
Okay.
sure. And I'm not even just an archery or bow hunter. I like archery in general. I shoot like year round, whether I'm hunting or not.
Okay.
It's just a annoying, expensive, fun passion. But that's most hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to figure out where you're going to spend your time and money
Yeah.
on. Archery is my jam too.
Okay.
The only animal I'd rather shoot with a gun than with a bow would be a turkey. So I've said that on podcasts before.
Yeah.
There's just something about
I
pointing.
thought it was a machete.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No.
That would be pretty cool.
Mike on the foot.
Yeah. Get behind one of them Reaper decoys, take it
Yeah.
out with a machete. That'd be something.
That would
No.
be something.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I'd prefer bow, but
Okay.
yeah, it requires a lot of practice though. I hadn't shot for a while, like I'll give plenty of excuses about kids and job and whatnot, but like I hadn't picked up my bow since December, and then going and shooting my bow again in like the super wind. The first one, I have to admit, I got some string slap pretty bad,
You have
and I was
the
like, God,
mark to prove it or no?
I
still there?
think it's finally went away now, but it was really humbling because it's like I'd been shooting a bow for like at least 20 years now.
Sure.
And to pick it up and just make that terrible of a shot was like, oh, it is something that requires practice. You pick it up fairly quickly, but yeah, you got to keep shooting to perfect it for
It's
sure.
like riding a bike because you don't forget how to do it, but you definitely aren't that good at it when you pick up after
Yeah.
a while.
Like you probably need to use your hands still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No riding the bike with no handlebars.
No handlebars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the associates are going through, then they're meeting with all of these vendors. They're getting like firsthand experience using these products, accessories, whatever. And then also learning how to adjust things.
Yeah.
I suppose as you're like learning how to adjust your own.
And a lot of the times, like as you go around to these different vendors, like for example, in some of the broadhead vendors, like you'll get a pack of broadheads because if you've never shot them or if you've never messed with them or put them together or anything like that, you now have some to like mess around with and shoot and see how they do for yourself. And that way, when a customer comes in, you can say, I have shot these and this is what I like about them or this is what I don't like about them or
Sure.
this is why I would get these ones or something like that. Like you have the experience physically firsthand to say that to a customer, and then that just translates so much better to a customer because they can trust you because you've done that before.
Yeah. A great example of that that was actually at the university was Annihilator broadheads. So I have been a mechanical guy for a long time. Like,
Meaning,
so there's fixed blade
Good question.
broadheads, which they have like the blades are fixed in a single spot. So they're always there when you shoot, And then there's mechanical broadheads, which are closed when you shoot them, and then they deploy upon impact.
okay.
So the reason why someone would shoot a mechanical versus a fixed blade is mechanicals will generally have a larger cutting diameter. So it's just, like if you shoot something a little further back, then you have a little bit extra cutting diameter to get a better blood trail. And mechanicals will often shoot a lot more like your field points, which is the ones that you practice with. So there's not as much like tuning.
There's less drag on them.
There's less drag on it. Like longer distances, they'll tend to be, you know, fly a little more true, and there's less opportunity for wind drag and things like that. But with these Annihilator broadheads, I thought was super fascinating was, granted that they're not very big in cutting diameter, but the way they're designed to punch air into the animal and cause like trauma that way. So the way the guy explained it that really stuck with me is like, okay, so you have a big cutting diameter in a mechanical, and the thing's going to bleed quite a bit, and then you'll find it 200 yards later. Or you can shoot it with one of these Annihilator broadheads, and the forced air into it is going to cause trauma, and the animal will only go 20 yards. So do you want to follow a blood trail for 200, or do you want to watch the animal drop right there? So it's like, okay, that has me very intrigued. So do
they shoot very different then?
I haven't shot them yet personally, so I can't give you great input on that. But the things that I've heard have been really great. Just the design is so cool.
It's just like tidbits of information like that you can't get online or like from the package. Like those are like, it's a little golden nugget basically that you or a store employee goes back with to like, oh, this is what the actual Annihilator brand guy said about these things. Like this is the info.
Yeah. Let's do a little vendor tease, like a couple of the products that left us impressed. So
that was one of them.
Okay, I'm just going to put you on the spot. Do you have one?
I've got a lot.
Okay.
God, I think
good thing you went
he's
first.
He's got a big wish list. He's the gear guy.
Oh, this is
the gear guy. So
this is my jam.
Pull out your list.
Yeah,
no,
I know.
I'll just sit back. No.
I'm trying to think through. I think honestly, one of the craziest presentations in terms of the speed trainings that we had was, I think it's called Deception, the scent. God, what do you even call it? Like scent eliminator spray. Like it sounds like not that interesting of a presentation, but holy cow, everybody was locked into what this guy was saying, because it's a type of spray. It's like it's water mixed with gas, and it's not like a chemical. Like you can spray it on your hand, rub your hands, and there's no smell. Like all the gas is cleaned, everything and evaporated. I'm probably absolutely butchering how this was presented, but it was so cool. Like that was one of the things that absolutely blew me away presentation-wise. You should definitely check it out because it is wild, the science behind it.
You should also check out Mike and my podcast on ozonics.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Another vendor.
Little plug really there. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, ozonics. I'm not going to get into ozonics.
No.
But yeah, it's legit.
But listen to the podcast.
I have hunted in situations where I absolutely could not have done it without ozonics. I am a believer in ozonics. My turn for
your turn.
For
we'll go back and forth.
Yeah, you can keep going back and forth.
We'll go back and forth.
It'll give me time to think. There's a lot.
Okay. Latitude had me very impressed. They have 3 different saddles that we'll be selling at SCHEELS. They're catered for different types of hunting. So like if you're one of those guys that wants to trek in a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, they got a saddle for that. If you're a private ground, I'm going to go 150 yards, but I want to switch into different trees because a deer has been educated in that exact spot. They've got a great saddle for that, super comfortable. And then they've got kind of that in-between one too. And just showing that, you know, like how easy it was, how their system was designed not to like pinch you in certain places and just be super comfortable for extended periods in the tree was super cool. And their sticks are stupid light. Like I would hold it up and it was like,
it's like aluminum or what is it?
Carbon.
No,
carbon fiber.
Like is it a carbon?
It's carbon. Yeah.
Okay.
Latitudes are carbon.
Yeah. Ridiculous. So like, I'm not going to name brands, but I've got a different set of sticks and they're about 17 times more heavy than these. And I was like, why did I buy those sticks? I need to just get rid of them and get the Latitude ones. They're awesome. And just the way you can
again,
like,
a great time
to the tree.
To be able to experience that.
Yeah, it's just all about becoming more efficient and just doing things a little bit better, a little bit simpler, a little bit lighter, a little bit faster. Latitude.
Do you find a
had
new
me
saddle
impressed.
then too that you like, or do you do saddle
I
hunting?
did like their. I did.
We'll
love
get
their
Mike into a
saddles.
Latitude saddle here soon.
Yeah. I've used different brands.
Is that what you use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
a big fan. I've got their setup, and it's, like you said, it's light, and it's second.
And you know what?
seconds to none.
They're all good in their own ways, but
Mm-hmm.
Latitude's good. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So do they also sell like the platform and everything that you need then with the sticks and okay.
Yep. Am I up?
You're up.
You're up.
Okay. This is Solomon's big trail cam debate, because I've used
Ooh.
just about every brand there is, and just about every cell plan and carrier and all that jazz. And I have found for where I hunt and what I use them for that I really like Stealth Cam. And I was very impressed with their revolver camera. Did you happen to see that one?
I wasn't able to see that one.
Okay, well, let me tell you, it's nuts. If you haven't
Let
seen
me
it.
tell you.
Let me tell you.
what.
Here's a little PK meeting right here.
Yeah, product knowledge, gather around here, folks. Okay, so your normal trail camera, you set it up on a tree or on a post, and it takes pictures in front of you, right?
Yep.
This one, 360. 360
So you
camera.
put it all the way around the tree?
No,
Or-
it's one camera. So, like, imagine this is the trail camera. You set it, like, on a T-post or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
And it has a camera inside of it that can turn all the way
Sure.
around in different directions.
Okay.
And it will tell you, I won't go into the weeds on it, but, like, it'll tell you there's 6 different zones, like, in the 360-degree circle. And it'll tell you which zone it sees the animal in, and it'll just, like, basically follow it all the way around until it gets out of the distance
sight,
it can tell.
yeah.
So if you have, like, a food plot or a big box blind in a field or something like that, where you don't want to have to run a camera on this side and on this side, you can just plop this bad boy down, and you're covered in like 100 feet in every direction. And it was really, really cool.
Yeah. Just being able to determine points of entry. I mean, granted, you can see trails and stuff like that, but wary old bucks, very few times do they take the most traveled trail. They're going to go in some spot because they're sneaky, and that's how they got old. And that's a great way to figure out something like that.
Yeah. I'm a big trail cam nerd, and like I said, I've tried just about all of them, and they all have their place, but I was very impressed with that.
This is like the sonar fishing.
Yes.
Like sonar debate.
All right. I'm going to not talk about the sonar, but I am going to
Okay.
talk about something related to trail cams.
Good.
Am I up now?
You're up.
That's
All
all
right,
you.
good deal. Power plant, it's called. So this is a battery system for trail cameras. So I guarantee that everyone's used a trail camera has had some issues with batteries, whether it's them dying, trying to put out a solar panel and not being able to have it charge, stuff like that. So they've got this little device now. So basically, different trail cameras will run at different voltages. Some of them will run at 6, 9, or 12 volts. So this one has settings for each camera. So basically, it's an external power source, can work with any camera. So you just have to figure out what voltage your specific camera runs at and hook it up to that. And it's 3 to 4 times the length of a normal set of batteries you'll get out of it. So this is perfect for situations where you want to put a camera in a nasty thicket and you don't want to go to it. You know, you want to set it in April and you don't want to touch it until
April.
the season's over. And you tried a solar panel, but it doesn't get enough light to keep the camera going. This will do it. So, and you can also hook it up to multiple cameras. So say you don't have one of them fancy schmancy 360-degree ones, but you've got a couple of cameras that you want to put, you know, facing away from each other or at angles so you can get more field of vision in a certain spot. It'll run both of them, and it'll run it more than twice as long as a normal set of batteries will. And it's just lithium powered. It'll recharge. You just, you know, pull it out, recharge it. So you don't ever have to buy AA batteries again, and you get much longer runtime on them. It's cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
Didn't they say you could recharge them like up to like 1,000 times or something like that? Crazy. Like
I think
that?
it was even more than that.
It might have been more than that.
Yeah.
It was. You'd probably never run out of charge ability on it.
And
Yeah.
at SCHEELS, it's always guaranteed, you know.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. Am I up?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got more?
This guy right here.
Okay.
This is the Leupold Full Draw 5 rangefinder, archery specific.
For those of
rangefinder.
you that are just listening to this and not watching it on YouTube, you should watch it on YouTube.
Yes.
It's cool. But anyways, he's got a rangefinder in his hand.
I'm holding the Leupold Full Draw 5.
Can I, look through it
go
here?
for it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So do I need to do anything specific?
Just the button on the top, you can tap it. And
Okay.
then tap it
Oh,
twice,
okay.
and it'll tell you the distance.
Has
But
our
basically-
camera moved yet, or is it still at 7-ish
7.3?
yards?
6.6.
Oh, you're closer.
Oh, because I'm closer.
But
Yeah.
anyway, what's cool about that, if you haven't ever used one or seen one, is if you're an archery guy, this has Archer's Advantage software in it, which is super, super cool. Basically, you put in your bow speed, so your feet per second that your arrow shoots, your arrow weight, so how much it weighs, and then the distance from your distance from your arrow to your peep height on your string. And that will do all of its magic fancy calculations. And when you range something, say at 30 yards, you can have it set to where it'll show a little bar inside the housing there of where like the tallest point of the arc of your arrow is going to be. So that way if you're in a tree stand or in a blind or something like that where you got brush around you and you don't quite know if that shot's going to clear like that branch that's up there halfway between you and your target, that line will pop up and it'll be like, oh, nope, that line's above the branch, so you're definitely going to smack that branch if you try to shoot there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple different modes. There's that one, and there's like a 20-yard something mode that I don't really know how it works, but it does something similar. That's all crazy helpful stuff for archery guys.
they call that flight path technology.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. It's
I had no idea there was so much math involved.
Oh, absolutely.
In all
You
of
got out
this.
of it after like high school, but it's just follows you
Gosh,
everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about this is they do all the math
Oh, yeah.
for you.
They do it for you, right. But I mean, I just,
So yeah,
They-
there's
yeah, I mean, I guess there's all these calculations.
there's plenty.
Yeah, wow.
You
I
know, most every rangefinder vendor has like a trig solution to
Sure.
to compensate for like your angles and things like that. But this one is like down to a science. Like it's going to tell you like exactly the height of your arrow at 20 yards. Like the trig solutions will get you close, but this will get you exact.
Exact. Wow.
So like you got
Have you been-
a 60-yard shot and you've got some brush at 20, you need to know if you're going to clear that or not. You'll know for sure.
So
Yeah.
did you use this when you were there?
Yeah, we
Okay.
got, so that's the cool part about this is anybody can use it. The parameters inside for like what you can set for your arrow weights and your bow speed and things like that are super wide, so just about anybody can use it. And it's customizable for you, because like if I tried to use it and then I gave it to you to use for your setup, it'd be off a little bit because you can put your information into it or your information.
Sure.
So it's super customizable.
Okay.
I haven't shot a lot with it outside yet, but when we set it up there at the university, it's so easy. You can do it in
And accurate.
5 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually shot that full draw 5 for a
Yeah.
couple years now, and it's even better when you get into a tree.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to
Absolutely.
it. I'm new to it. I'm late to the game, but it's a cool unit.
They're legit.
Yeah.
Game changer.
I'll give
Yeah.
you that.
100%.
So I did not have the opportunity to go through every single vendor, so I'm a little bit more constrained, but I'm going to give you another saddle.
Okay.
So Latitude was great. Love Latitude. I would absolutely hunt out of one. XOP caught my eye. So they have a package now. It's like a full hunt package. You know, like, because with a saddle setup, you got to get your saddle, you got to get your sticks, you got to get your platform, and then you got to figure out a way to carry it out. So XOP has designed an entire kit. Like, if you say, I want to get into the saddle game, you can buy the whole kit in one unit.
purchase, yeah.
So, like, it'll come in a box, you pull it out, and you can go hunt. So you don't have to worry about, like,
Everything
oh,
you
what kind
need.
of platform do I want? What kind of sticks do I want? It's just all there, and a pack comes too. So, like, the pack is specifically designed for these sticks, for this platform, for this saddle. So you just literally pull it out of the package, and you have everything you need to go hunt out of a saddle, which is super cool.
Should I forward Allie this episode so she knows just what kit to buy? No.
No, I mean, I've already
Yeah.
got a
Well, there's
saddle, so
that.
now I
Okay.
just
Oh,
got to
you
try
are set, okay.
I got to try every one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because
Right.
I got to have a different saddle for a different situation.
Right. They're just
You know.
one for Tuesday and one for Wednesday, and and every
Hey,
other day.
I mean, I got shoes for all those days, so I get it.
Oh man, this is not a shoe podcast.
This is just like relating.
Fashion podcast.
Relating.
okay.
We're back.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Purse. Yeah.
No more shoe talk. You have been warned.
But I mean, were there any clothing vendors there?
I don't know, let's see.
Or did we have any SCHEELS Outfitters there?
There was some SCHEELS Outfitters, SCHEELS branded clothing there, but actually not this week, but next week I think is the Technical Hunt Clothing University. So that's where you just get mounds of information of all the different vendors for hunting clothing.
Which can make a
stuff like
difference for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So your footwear can make a
absolutely.
difference.
that. Oh yeah, don't.
So that's the only footwear talk
Yeah.
I will talk.
I've had plenty of blisters to prove that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Pro tip: don't buy a pair of boots and go hunt with them the next day. Bad plan.
Break them in.
Doesn't
Break
do
them
it.
in.
Break them in. Do the proper break-in procedure.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it.
So
Otherwise, your day 2, 3, 4, 5 of your hunt's going to be miserable.
Yeah, can attest to that.
So any other major takeaways for you guys?
Just, I mean, it's so cool that SCHEELS puts this on for employees. I mean, no other retailer does something like this to this extent where employees can come and learn this much about products and have the hands-on. Because I mean, like you said, you can do the product knowledge meetings all day, which are great, but also you have to have hands-on with some of this stuff to be able to like accurately know how it works, how to set it up, how to use it, how to sell it, all that type of thing. So being able to put an event like this on for 60 plus employees is wildly cool. And to have
Yeah.
all the vendors there as partners taking their time to show all these associates how to do it.
Yeah, for
Pretty
sure.
darn cool.
Yeah. And I think, we have a phrase like they have to be experts out there before we call them experts in here. I like that. And that kind of just goes to show too of like, and these associates are passionate about archery or whatever shop that they're in. And then having this university to go to then further their knowledge and skills. Yeah.
Or even
It's just
ignite a
a-
passion for archery in those that haven't done it a lot
Right.
before too. I mean, because like I said, some of the people that are there aren't necessarily working directly in the archery shop 100% of the time, but maybe they want to, or maybe they want to learn more about it and things like that. So it helps to ignite that passion too a little bit about those that don't have that much experience in the archery world.
And it rekindles a passion too.
Yeah.
Like I've been in fishing mode since turkey season's been over. Like pretty much my mind has been consumed by fishing and how excited I am for water temperatures to hit that 70 degree mark so I can start throwing jigging wraps again for walleye. And I went to that archery university and it was just like, I'm so excited for archery season. Oh man, I am just jacked. This is going to be great.
All it takes is one slap on the arm. To
Oh
ignite it.
yeah. No, I had actually forgotten
That wake up
about
call,
that.
but yeah.
Yeah, I am now awake.
Yeah.
My arm hurts. I am awake.
Yes. That was good. It was such a cool week. Cool to experience, cool to film it. I mean, and everything that we're going to be able to put out on social and YouTube and things like that for other customers to see and other people to see. It'll be some cool content.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned,
Lots
folks.
of good content. Awesome. All right.
All right.
That's all I got.
Perfect. Well, thank you for tuning into this segment on Archery University. Stay tuned for a bunch of the content that's going to be coming out on our social channels, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. And, if you're excited about some of these products, you want to check them out, head to your local SCHEELS store, visit us online at scheels.com. And with that, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the SCHEELS Outdoors podcast. Stay tuned for future segments and visit our social media pages, SCHEELS Outdoors on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.